We hear his name all the time, especially whether we're talking about club football or international football. And unfortunately, he's pretty much coming close to breaking Ali Dai's record for most goals by an international footballer in international play. But our guest today, of course, is a big fan of Ronaldo, and he is known as Shanta Ronaldo. Shanta, welcome to Team Melli Talk.
Merci. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for. It's a pleasure being here.
I'm sure you're not surprised. I did encounter some articles about you on the internet, and it's not a surprise that you obviously got a lot of attention because of how you look like Cristiano Ronaldo. When did people first start telling you that you look like Cristiano Ronaldo?
Well, actually, it's funny because back in 2009, when Ronaldo he joined Real Madrid, I was a big Real Madrid fan. He joined Real Madrid, and at that time, I had long hair, like David Beckham before. And then one day, I said I want to cut my hair because it was too long for me, so I got short hair. And then from that day, people knew, okay, I was a Real Madrid fan and I liked Ronaldo, so they started to call me Ronaldo. Of course, it's back in 2009, but apart of that, I was a big fan of him when he joined Real Madrid. I love the skill moves he make, and his goal scoring amount of goals he scores. It was unbelievable. So that's basically why I became a huge fan of him.
And of course, for our viewers, Shanta Ronaldo comes from Denmark, and I believe you're currently playing for Sanderum Bold Club. And
yes.
From what I know, you wear more than one hat, so you're also a football coach and a football trainer.
Exactly. I started to play football when I was 6 years old, like almost all the boys. I had a dream, and I still have a dream to become a professional football player and to play in a good club outside of my country. 2 years ago, I had trials with Los Angeles Galaxy, where I scored 6 goals in 2 games. And football we live in a crazy world with football today, because football can be sometimes, unpredictable. It can be predictable. I think it's the beauty of it. The road to becoming a pro is I don't know. You can't put any words on it because it's so difficult. But I think it's the beauty of it. I'm still working on it, and as you mentioned, I'm also a coach for under-10 team. I've been coaching since like 3-4 years now. Also developing my own career on that point too. So basically, I want to develop every day. So it's good.
And now I want to go back to something you just mentioned, and that is, you had a trial with LA Galaxy of Major League Soccer. Like you said, you had some good numbers in that trial, but no contract. So I mean, were you pretty surprised by that?
Of course, I scored 6 goals in 2 games, and when I think about what I did, I think I deserved at least a contract. But I spoke with the club after, and I got told that they signed the defender because they were in need to sign the defender. The defender got injured on the team. It was the under-23 team. You could get the contract, but of course you could collaborate with the first team too. But of course, I was not disappointed, but I don't know if I was shocked or something. I wasn't sad, but when you score 6 goals in 2 games, I think I did pretty good. Of course, if I had scored 1 goal, I thought, oh, maybe I could score 4 goals or 5 goals. But I said, okay, 6 goals in 2 games, I did what I could. Sometimes there's a limit of what you can do. The rest is up to God and to other circumstances. But of course, I always say when there's a door closing, another door is opening, right after. So I don't know if it's destiny or something, but of course, I'm still working on to get a professional contract. And I'm still speaking with people, I still daily speak with people who I have actually got offers 2 years ago after my trials, when they saw my videos also last year. But you have to stay realistic too. I also study, so I always say I want to finish my studies and then I can move out and concentrate on the football. I'm still young.
Absolutely. And, for our viewers, our fans, so what position do you play then?
I play striker. My preferred position is striker. That's where I score most.
Okay, so striker. So in other words, I could also call you a poacher as well. Would that make sense?
Yes, yes, exactly.
All right. And, another thing I want to talk about real quick, I'm moving back and forth a little, is that when I looked at some articles on the internet, there were some claims that you had surgery to make yourself look more like Ronaldo. And how much of this is true?
I remember this. I remember the article coming out a few years ago. The first thing I did, I worked with some guys. I said to them, "You need to contact them straight away. We need to get this article down as soon as possible." But of course, they live to sell stories. This is how they earn their money, and I couldn't do anything. I just let them enjoy their readers what they want and get their money out of it. It's completely false. Everything. I also said it many times. It's not true.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that has been cleared up. And like you said, sometimes, some things just happen and you just gotta roll with it.
Yeah,
And it must be one of those questions that, you get tired of answering over and over. So,
it is. Yeah, it is
my
sometimes. Yeah,
apologies
but
there.
yeah, sorry. No, no, it's okay because it is your job, and I fully respect. Also respect their job for making the story. We all have our opinions to write, to say. Um, but of course, the most important thing for me is to concentrate on what I do and what I think and what I believe. If I was the guy who was running up to say, "Oh, why you write this about me? Why you do this?" I will completely, get out of control. So I have my own control and focused on the things I do, and I respect everything their opinions about what they want.
Sure, absolutely. Everyone's got their own agenda. And when I'm talking about agendas as well, your agenda, I've seen some of your online training sessions lately with football. So, I mean, how is this going for you? And, how long did you have this plan in the works?
So in the Corona period, I said to myself, I need to find a new way to develop football players globally. Um, as I know many people in the world, I said I want to develop a new project where I can maybe teach them or train them online, where they can train by me. Um, Even I get so many requests from Iran. Most of my followers on Instagram, they are from Iran. And what I want to do, I would love to help people from all over the world on this project. The goal is to help everyone and to become a better football player. And the good thing is here with our connections, if you do well, train well with us, you have the chance to get seen by clubs worldwide. And I think that's also an important factor to help people today to grow their career.
Yeah, so best of luck to you on that. I'll be taking a look at your training sessions. And of course,
Thank you, thank you,
we'll be able to, share all your social media information for our viewers as well.
thank
And
you.
now, now, of course, as we know, I believe you were born in Denmark, where your family is from Iran. So, what part of Iran is your family from?
Actually, both my mom and dad, they're from Tehran. I never got the chance to visit Iran, neither my mom or dad, because they escaped from the war back in the 80s. So, but I always want to visit Iran when possible. It's of course a dream almost for me to see where my family are from, where I am from originally, because I would consider myself as Iranian.
Of course.
So this is where my roots are.
Yeah, I like your mindset a lot. And, and earlier, of course, as we know, you being a huge fan of Ronaldo, I mean, was it difficult for you to see Ronaldo playing against Iran at the 2018 World Cup?
It was actually pretty funny because I was sitting with my little brother, who's a guy who loves football maybe more than me, supporting Iran and Ronaldo. My dad, of course, supporting Iran only. But I think the timing of the game, it was very bad because you could maybe, if this game was the first game of the World Cup, I think the pressure would be less. I think the games with most significant and more meaning, they play at the last. So it was a very bad timing. But of course, I hope that Iran will win and also Ronaldo to advance, because I also follow Portugal's games a lot.
But, looking back at that same match, I mean, were you just stunned beyond belief when Ali Reza Beravan stopped your hero's penalty?
Actually, when I saw Ronaldo taking the penalty, my dad, he said to me, "Shanta, he will take this, believe me." And you could also see it in the face of Ronaldo when he's taking penalties. Sometimes he's ice cold. But at that time, you could see maybe he was a little bit nervous because he knew that in the stadium, 80% of the fans, they were Iranian. Um, and when Iranians, they are attending, like in party, they, they have, they are there. But of course, Ali Reza Bayraman he's with his height and his abilities. I think he did a good job saving that penalty. I was very, I was shocked because I thought, okay, Bayraman standing in his, in front of Ronaldo in that penalty situation, it was crazy to see him saving his first penalty against Ronaldo, who always scores.
Yeah, that was a moment, of course, Team Melli fans will never forget. But as we know, Iranian midfielder Saeed Ezatolahi recently signed with Vejle Boldklub in the Danish Super League. So you being from Denmark, growing up in Denmark, I mean, how surprised were you to hear this news? But at the same time, are you also maybe a little excited for Saeed Ezatolahi?
I remember when the first day I read this news that Ezatolahi will come to Violet Ball Club, which is 1 hour away from me, I just thought, wow, is this a true or a joke? Because I think Ezatolahi, he has when he played in Atletico Madrid, I was chatting with him a little bit, I remember, 5 years, 6 years ago. And when I looked back at that time, I said, okay, how can you go from Atletico Madrid to Iran, to Russia, and come back to Vejle Ball Club in Denmark when, the football culture is a bit different, Here in Denmark, the football culture is more like a hobby. And I think the problem is when football is becoming a hobby, it's becoming a problem. Football in, for example, Iran, in Spain, it's a lifestyle. To be honest, I don't think it will suit him perfectly well. I don't want to speak about others' role in life, but to be honest, if you look at how many players from other countries, technically, how they can adapt here, it's very difficult. Because when you come from a culture in, in Spain and Russia and also Iran, you're more used to the technical way of game. And I think the level of that here is very low. And I see it also when I play myself. I've been playing with players from other countries, and like this, you get to know how they play. One touch pass. But here it's more different. It's more like long balls, and I think it will be a little difficult for him. But on the other side, I think he joins a club that are undergoing some new projects. I've been reading that they want to reach the Champions League. Of course, it's going to be difficult, but I think it will be, a good start for him. Let's see how the first months will go. But I think if I was his advisor, I would maybe advise him to stay maybe for maximum 1 year and then go to another bigger country to play, or maybe return to Iran.
Well, I mean, from your point of view, like I said, I really like your insight. You really broke it down a lot. But do you plan on attending some matches and to see Vejle play? You said 1 hour away.
I hope when they come here to Odense, let's see if they allow people to go in. I will definitely to go in with the Iranian flag and then say Saeed. Why not? You support your people from your own nation. You don't see it a lot here. People from Iran playing here in the Danish Super League. You see people from Africa or the Balkan countries, but not so much Iran. And I think it's going to be very exciting to see.
Earlier, you mentioned, some of your dreams as a footballer, but for you, what would be the ultimate accomplishment for you as a footballer?
Well, as a footballer, I always say, you have some dreams and then you have some realistic dreams. Of course, my dream is to play for Real Madrid, for Juventus, for, a huge club. But my realistic dream is to play at a club where I can develop as a footballer, to be in the culture where people have the same ambitions as me, to be in a country with people having the feeling of football is like a lifestyle. I want to live with football. I want to wake up and go to training. I want to live with the matches. I want to go in depth and develop my own career. So basically, it's to play in a club where people, they can help me and I can help as much as possible to the club, and not just going to some training and then go back home and waiting again for the training. I like that lifestyle of playing football, and also as a coach, to help the kids as much as possible, because they are the future. They are the ones who learn most. You can't go to an adult and say, this is the thing. It's difficult to learn an adult how you should do on a pitch, because the adult, he has his own experience. The kids, they are the future. As my own little brother, I'm helping him day in, day out. His players, the guys who I coach, and the projects I have in front of me, it's to basically not to show myself, but basically to help people out in the best way, to advise them. Also with the training programs I have now, it's to basically teach them how to become a better player technically and also mentally, because mentally is maybe the most important factor in football. How strong are you mentally? How much negativity can you face in your life? The same as I have been. I've been facing so much. I face it every day, but I still want to keep going until the day I see it is not possible.
Well, of course, best of luck to you and everything that you do. And like I said, now one last thing. I'm big on predictions here at Team Melli Talk. We only want the best for our national team, but we also know that during World Cup qualification, these are some tough times right now. A lot of uncertainty for our national team. But
Yes.
Iran still has some important matches to win. And I just want to know, what's your prediction? Do you expect Iran to bounce back and make it to the final round of the World Cup qualifying?
I think when you're looking at Iran's games now and their team, you have to stay focused on what they have now and what they, you should not, people in Iran, we should not speak about the past. We should not speak about the era of Kalash Kairos or the World Cup period, because you can't compare with today. Of course, their national team today is different than it was 2 years ago. Both mentally, the energy they had you could see it was such a dangerous team back in 2018. Even with the 1-0 result, or 1-1 or 0-0, it was a dangerous team we had. I think if they stay concentrated and focus on what they want and not what they wanted to do 2 years ago, I think maybe they have good opportunities.
Shanta, thank you for taking the time for joining us on Team Melli Talk. It really was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for letting me be here.
And for our viewers, you know what to do. Get to our website as soon as you can, www.teammellitalk.com. You know where to find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The handle at Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. See you on the next edition of Team Melli Talk.